Donald Trump has shared his goal of a 60% tariff on all Chinese imports, which could potentially translate into higher prices here at home as companies potentially pass along those extra costs to their customers. Experts do fear a trade war would skyrocket inflation across the nation. So I'd like to welcome in Bryan Ganz, CEO of a U.S. manufacturing company that makes self-defense products based in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Bryan, thank you so much for your time. Before we talk about your company specifically, because I do want to, as a CEO, what is your reaction to the news of this decision by fashion company Steve Madden?
Well, I don't think it could be any surprise to any of us. We've all been, for some period of time, figuring out how to reduce our reliance on China. And this is not just in the recent run-up to the election, but really since the pandemic. Back in 2020, we only had 12% of our production here in the U.S. Over the last 4 years, we're now up to 77% of our production being able to be produced here in the U.S.
So, Bryan, it's only 3 days since the election. We're already seeing this announcement. Your company has made some moves, too. I want to talk more about that. But do you think we'll see more companies doing this?
Oh, without a doubt. The tariffs are a very real concern. I think the biggest issue, though, is for us to get some certainty on what country is going to be assessed tariffs and how much. Right now, we are still waiting to see what's going to happen, for example, with Mexico. Under the first Trump administration, they resurrected the NAFTA through the USMCA. And as a result, there are no tariffs for goods coming in from Mexico. But President Trump or President-elect Trump has talked a lot about applying tariffs to Mexico. So I think everybody's sort of sitting on their hands waiting to see what the ultimate tariff regime is going to be. But you can certainly count on CEOs making decisions to get out of high tariff countries.
Do you think, Bryan, that these moves by the president-elect, again, he's done a lot of talking. We don't know yet exactly what will happen because, again, he still has to be inaugurated and actually take over. Do you think it will potentially move business into America, or will it just be redistributing business potentially to other foreign countries with their cheaper labor forces?
Well, we don't have anything left in China where we do not have a dual source somewhere else. But as you correctly point out, Nichole, some of those other countries are Vietnam, Thailand, Taiwan. So it is not necessarily moving back to the U.S., but we have to see what's going to happen to tariffs on these other countries. Because if the tariffs are high enough everywhere else, things will be moved back to the United States.
Bryan, my last question for you. From your perspective, how do you think another Trump administration is likely to impact the U.S. economy overall?
Well, look, this tariff question is a very, very big question. In addition, the deportation of immigrants is a very, very big issue. Right now, we've recently announced that we've increased wages in our Fort Wayne facility by 10% because we simply had a hard time finding workers. Unemployment is at a very, very low level. And if you start removing millions of people from the workforce, you're going to find it that much more difficult to hire people. So I do think, at least at the beginning, both the deportation and the tariffs are going to have an inflationary effect here in the United States.
And it made me think of something else. How do you think it could potentially affect wages? Because, you mentioned it's hard to fill some of those positions. It's hard to find workers. And we know that American workers certainly, want to and deserve to make a certain amount of money. But how does that affect things from a business perspective?
Well, I mean, it's certainly going to drive wages up. We obviously do not hire anybody who is not a U.S. citizen or a legal resident. On the other hand, there are many companies that do, and they're employing a lot of these 20 million of undocumented workers. If these workers are removed from the workforce, they're going to find workers elsewhere. And that shortage is going to create an upward pressure across the board. It's very interesting to me that the stock market has had a very positive reaction to Donald Trump's election. And I think in many ways he will be good for business. But certainly the tariff issue and the deportation issue could have an inflationary effect on business.
Yeah, there's certainly a lot of things to keep an eye on. CEO Bryan Ganz, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Nichole.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.